Hello, welcome to Econometrics Melody. In this tutorial, we'll deal with the commands corr2data, ds, and isid. These are very useful commands. Let's begin with this main Stata interface. Active is time, press Ctrl 8 for activating data editor and Ctrl 9 for activating to file. So the first command we're going to deal with is corr2data. This will help us create data set with a specified correlation, mean, standard deviation, and variance covariance matrix. Let us clear everything. We're going to create a variable a and b, a hypothetical variable a and b with mean 3, 5, standard deviation 4, 6, and we are going to have 27 observations. Now let us check whether this is true or false. So the mean of a, it should be 3, the mean of b, it should be 5, and the standard deviation of a, it should be 4, and standard deviation of b, it should be 6. Fine. Now let us drop a, b, d, e, f, and let us go to our next variation. We're going to now specify our variance covariance matrix and ask and generate variables a and b with this variance covariance matrix. So let us check the determinant of the variance covariance matrix. So the determinant of the variance covariance matrix must be positive semi-definite. So if it is not positive semi-definite, then we specify this option force PSD. So this will force it to be positive semi-definite. And cstorage, it has three options: full for full matrix, lower or lower triangular matrix, and upper for upper triangular matrix. Now let us create the variables and check whether they have the same variance and covariance. So standard deviation of a, it is 12, so its variance is 144. Standard deviation of b is 5, so its variance is 25. So we are fine with the variance and variance of a and b. Now let's check its covariance. For that, we need to use this matrix command. So the matrix X, it is going to have a and b, but its accum will generate a cross product. So let us see what are the cross products of a and b. But we need the cross product in their deviation form and divided by their number of degrees of freedom. So we'll get the variance covariance matrix. We're going to create a variable covariance matrix, and then this will contain the deviations, their cross product in their deviation form, and let us divide it by their degrees of freedom, and we'll get their covariance matrix. And let us list them and see whether this is the same variance covariance matrix that we have specified: 40, 144, 50, and 25. 144, 50, and 25. So these variables, hypothetical variables a and b, they do have the variance and covariance as per this matrix CL. Now let us specify the correlation matrix and generate variables of our choice. So actually we need the two variables so that their correlations are 63. Okay, let us generate this matrix, and then we specify this as an input, and then the mean of the two variables, it must be 10 and 12, and standard deviation should be 4 and 2. So this force, we know about what does this option force as PSD, and cstorage full, lower or upper dodge. Now let us create this and check whether the variables, they have the correlations 0.63 or not. So this will accum y. Now matrix y contains variable a and b, and let us list y. So accum, this is the cross product between a and b. Now let us matrix list x. What matrix do we have as x? So x, we have already specified matrix X is the accum of a and b. Now let us use this command to create a variance and covariance. For that, first we create a cross product from deviations. So this is the cross product from deviation, and we divide it by their degrees of freedom. Now this is variance covariance matrix, and this is the variance covariance matrix. Now we have a command called corr to derive the correlation of covariance matrix covy. So we use this command, and then we display it. So this is the matrix that we have, correlation matrix that we have wanted. So correlation between them is 0.63, and there is another way to check it. If we write correlate A and B on the variables, it will display the correlation matrix. So it is 1 and 0.63. So this is a very useful command to generate any hypothetical data by specifying the desired mean, standard deviation, correlation, and variances. Now let us go to our next command called ds. This will display the list of matching name patterns or other characters. Let us drop A and B and set our observation to 27 and generate the variables and order them. Now if you write display, it will display all the name of the variables, name of all the variables, and this is equivalent to specifying display underscore all. Display alpha, this will display the variables in alphabetical orders, and the has type integer. Let us see which variable has integer. None of the variable is of type integer. Not type string. DC they are not of the type string. And format all the variables, their format should begin with percentage. So you will display all the name of all the variable. Type string, only variable B is of type string, and not type float. B is again of not type float, and not format TD. None of the variables are time series data, so we get the list of all the variables, name of all the variables. Another command is isid. So this will check if the variables, which of the variable qualifies for being a unique identifier, or that clearly uniquely identifies the data. So let us generate this sequence, variable E, and check whether A identifies the data uniquely. No. B, no. C, no. D, we don't have any. Yes, obviously variable E should identify this data uniquely because none of the observations are repeated or overlapped. So we don't get any error. If we don't get any error, it means this is true. Before the end of the tutorial, let us see another command, look for, that will search the characters or in the labels or the name of the variables. Look for LL. So if you see these variables, all of them have ALL at the end. Look for ALL all. So this will search all. So ALL, all of these variables, they have all. Look for Casina. So here is Casina and 2 as well. Look for 2 and Casina. So this label contains Casina and this label contains 2. So these variables are displayed. Look for playing and engaged. Playing and engaged, these variables. Look for C and the. So this contains C and they contain the, the, and here looking for AUTH, ENG, THR, THR, AUTH, and ENG. Now look for don't. So which variable or label contains don't? This is don't. Look for don't and with. So this contains don't and this contains with. So any one of these word characters, if the variable or label contains it, that will be displayed. Doll, this is doll, and look for in and all. So ALL all. So this is all. For all these variables qualify, and in. So once this is, if you don't specify in, then also all these variables will be displayed all. Please take your time in understanding this. This is it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much, Econometrics Melody.